This is a presentation of the outcomes of the Student Evaluation and Learning Analytics project at University of Limerick. The project was funded by the National Forum Strategic Alignment of Teaching and Learning and Enhancement Fund. We present findings from surveys and focus groups that will inform policy development in learning analytics and how we manage student evaluation mechanisms. The project team is a cross-functional team represented by the Quality Support Unit, the Centre for Transformative Learning, the Data Protection Office and the Information Technology Division. This brings the perspectives of each of these areas into the project and into our outputs. This project has been undertaken building on the national projects such as the Data Enabled Student Success Project and the Index Survey. Under Theme 4 of the Index Survey, the findings for the University of Limerick show that 71% of students either disagree or have a neutral view that they know how their data is stored and used by the university. Within its strategic plan for academic transformation, the university has identified an ambition to use learning analytics to support student retention and to enhance personal advice to students. When we consider the range of data to be used in a learning analytics project, we are looking at data such as our data in our VLE, our virtual learning environment, in our student record system, how our library systems are used, IT card systems, and so on. While the project is interested in all of these sources, we're also taking this opportunity to see how our survey data is used and how student feedback is responded to. Students have an opportunity to provide feedback through a number of mechanisms. These can be at a programmatic, module, or service level. However, we have found that the response rates are falling, and then this leads to a decreasing confidence in academic staff of some of these feedback mechanisms. This slide is an illustration from one of the promotional videos we used to encourage student interest in the project. It illustrates the anecdotal evidence that we've had from students that they get too many surveys, we send too many emails and too many reminders, they get frustrated by the number of surveys that they're asked to do, and then they don't see any evidence that change has happened even when they do provide that feedback. The Stellar project therefore takes a first principles approach to student evaluation and to learning analytics, concentrating on what we will do with our data and making sure that we act on the data that we have. The project has 4 goals. The first goal is to encourage student engagement through involvement in defining how we use their data and act on the feedback that they provide to us. The second goal is to build credibility in student feedback mechanisms with our staff. The third goal is to explore how our existing data sets can enhance teaching and learning and supplement those student feedback mechanisms. And finally, the fourth goal, which supports the preceding goals by building a co-created policy framework for the use of data to enhance student learning and on student evaluation. The project has 4 work streams: the student engagement stream, the staff engagement stream, the technical stream, and the policy stream. The student engagement work stream started with an institutional workshop in January 2020 where we brought both staff and students together to launch the project. As a result of COVID, we had to suspend the project and we relaunched it again in October of 2020. We got our student representatives involved by helping them to work with us on our call to action, which was through a promotional video. And then in November, we held focus groups where we had a mixed representation of postgraduate, undergraduate and postgraduate taught students. And we had representation of 46 students. Our report from that activity was available to us in January of 21. The outcomes of the focus groups helped crystallise our thoughts in terms of informing our various policies. Students want to know why and how their data is collected. They welcome intervention to help them to improve their learning or to avoid failure, and this is particularly true of undergraduate students. Students were keen to tell us that they want any intervention to be done in a positive, constructive manner. Language is important, as is the variety of the data that we use in informing these interventions. Tools that we use should also be used with care. We need to understand that students might have a different relationship with phones, they prefer texts. If feedback is given in groups, it's seen as less intimidating than those on a one-to-one basis. We asked students about their attitudes to surveys and how we take feedback as a university. Students welcome the opportunity to provide their feedback. They also would like some acknowledgement that feedback has been heard, and they feel that this would encourage student participation in these mechanisms. They have certain preferences for the tools that we use in order to tell students that feedback has been heard and actioned on. These range from email, face-to-face or social media, with an acknowledgement that it does depend on the context. The staff engagement workstream worked in parallel with the student stream. Equally, we had the institutional workshop in January 2020, and then in November we had a call to action through social and email channels where we invited staff to initially take part in a survey. We had 92 respondents to our survey. Then in December we held focus groups with staff, again a mix of different disciplines and from our support services and from our heads of department, and we had 31 participants in those focus groups. The available report became available in February of 21. The outcomes of the staff stream pointed to an existing good practice in the use of data to enhance student learning. The advantage of using technology was seen to make the data available more quickly. We have broad agreement on the purposes of collecting data for enhancement and for identifying students at risk. We need to agree institutional definitions for key elements of data. Data should be used to answer a specific question rather than the use of data for data's sake. We need to develop guidelines on how data can be used both in the classroom and for research purposes, in line with data protection guidelines. Clarity is required on what data is available to staff and who should access that data, again within our data protection guidelines. Staff would welcome a supported community of practice to explore further use of the learning analytics. When asked about student evaluation, staff agreed that students are over-surveyed. However, there are some things that we do need to do in terms of defining how student evaluations are to be used and what their purpose is. We need to develop guidelines to ensure that surveys are coordinated across the university. Flexibility is required at local level to allow different disciplines to include questions that are relevant to their area. Qualitative data is just as important as quantitative data when we develop module surveys. And we should look to the use of polling options within tools, our teaching and learning tools that can be used to enhance and to complement our existing centralised surveys. The outputs from the technical workstream include the student exit survey proof of concept. This has been developed and piloted throughout the university. We've also developed a technical specification for piloting data from the exit survey, from the module satisfaction survey, and from our annual report for programmes. We've also produced a dataset matrix, which is a proposal to govern access to the pilot data warehouse. The key proposals from the technical workstream is that data is to be treated as a strategic asset, the data quality must be defined and managed consistently through the life cycle, and a formal but agile mechanism is needed to approve access to and the use of datasets in accordance with our data protection. The outcomes of the three preceding work streams have helped us to create a draft use of data for student learning policy and a draft survey and student evaluation policy. Both of these policies are currently undergoing consultation within the university, and we hope to bring them to Academic Council later this academic year. In order to support the policy implementation, we have developed or are in the process of developing a number of resources to support that, such as the development of a resource for students to highlight how and why UL collects their data. We hope to include that in induction and orientation sessions in the coming academic year. We are developing guidelines for those carrying out interventions and a catalogue of data available to users so that people are aware of the range of information that's available within the university. We're also hoping to develop a resource for staff on how to acknowledge and respond to feedback from students. We believe that the Stellar project has impact and a sustained impact across the university. We've developed policy and guidelines to support any learning analytics initiative. We're developing a pilot student success dataset and dashboard. We've identified data sources to prioritise the next set of data to include in the dataset. Still Alive has commenced planning to implement the policy in 21 with respect to the provision of student feedback arising from data in the VLE. And we have identified a community of practice of those interested in learning analytics to enhance student learning. Thank you on behalf of all of the team for listening to our presentation. Further information on the project can be found at www.ul.ie/quality/Stella. Thank you.